sorry about me. 49%. Slate, 51%. U.S. News and World Report, 69% said I won. Well, think of it. I mean, I don't know them. I don't own it. PBS, Public Broadcasting, 69%. Here. See the small name up there? 69%. All of these things, Washington Times, 62%. CBS Philadelphia, 59%. These are people calling in. Fox News, 62%. These are people calling in who won the debate. And I think it's fantastic. I mean, they say, now we have another one coming up. And I enjoy it. I mean, I didn't know if I was going to like the debate, but I enjoy it. And all I'm doing is trying to get the idea across that we have to be strong, we have to be powerful, we have to rebuild our military and hopefully never use it. You know, it's like these guys. The stronger, the tougher, the better you are, people aren't going to be picking on you the same way, right? We're like, right now, we're being picked on. General Oriana just left, and he said that the readiness of the Army is the worst that it's been that he's ever seen, and the worst that most people have seen for many, many generations. I mean, we have to have the strongest. This has to be the strongest now. And you don't think the enemy hears him saying, frankly, he shouldn't even be saying it. You know, he's leaving, but I wish he wouldn't say a statement like that. How come our generals are always on television? They're always on television talking to these people. I don't want our generals on television. I want our generals to be like generals. Do you think that George Patton did sit down with anchors and said, here's the way we're going to do the war. We're going to attack from behind, and then we're going to do, this is crazy. I promise you my generals will never be on television, okay? So, it's a little like Obama. Obama, we should have never been in Iraq, and I came out in 2003, 2004. I said, don't go in Iraq, and I'm the most militaristic person in this room. I said, don't go into Iraq because you're going to destabilize, because Iran and Iraq would fight. It's like two guys, fight. They were equal militarily. And they go 10 feet this way, 10 feet that way, 10 feet, then they'd rest. Then Saddam Hussein would drop some gas and everybody would complain and they'd fight and they'd go back and forth and they'd go back. After years, you know, they'd take 2 years of rest. Then they start fighting again. What the hell are we doing? And I said, if you knock out one or the other of those two powers, which we're very capable of doing quickly, if you knock it out, the other one's going to take over. And in this case, we knocked out Iraq. Big mistake. We destabilized the entire Middle East. But now Obama has it. And instead of staying there with a small force, he said, we're leaving, and we're leaving on a certain date. And he gave the date. He said exactly when we're leaving. So now the enemy, I couldn't believe it. I was saying, you know, I'm a strategist. I'm the one that wrote about Osama bin Laden in my book before the World Trade Center came down. Everyone said, how did you know that? Because I saw him. I was watching him and reading about him making horrible statements about us. And I said to myself, I hope we're going to take this guy out. We didn't take him out. And actually, Bill Clinton had their sights on him, and for some reason, they didn't pull the trigger. If they pulled the trigger, you'd probably have the World Trade Center the way it used to be. Okay? And by the way, most importantly, with all the thousands of lives that have been lost and affected so gravely. So we have to be smart. And here's what I just read. And I read this, and I somehow related it, and it was sort of an amazing thing. And I'm going to read it to you. Al Wilson, the late great. Does anyone know Al Wilson? Singer. He wrote this little thing about the snake, right? The snake. So we have a little situation that could be a Trojan horse. You looked at what's happening in Germany, in Cologne. Cologne never had a problem. Cologne, Germany. Okay? Everything's fine. Everything's nice, clean, beautiful, no problem. Now they're having riots. They're having rapes. The New Year's Eve. Have you heard about the New Year's Eve? It was like a disaster. And the German people are going to riot. The German people are going to end up overthrowing this woman. I don't know what the hell she's thinking. But they have millions of people pouring into Germany, and now they're not stopping them. Now I guess they're going to have to stop because the German people aren't going to put up. And we want to have, of course, our leaders want to have, I don't think you want to have, people coming in from the migration from Syria. And when you look at that migration, very unusual. When I look at it, I see so many men, and they're young. They look like they should be on the wrestling team. And they're young and they're strong. And you don't see that many women. You don't see that many children. It's sort of a weird deal. It's the migration. You see all these young, strong people. And they're mostly men. And I say, what's going on? I noticed that, in all fairness, this is like all news now. I noticed that 3 or 4 months ago, when it all started. And I said, what's going on? And who knows what it is? You know, the famous Trojan horse. I mean, is this a Trojan horse? I doubt it, but it could very well be. And they don't have paperwork. They have no documentation whatsoever. They have no documentation. And then we're bringing them into this country. We don't know who they are. And you look at what happens in California, and you look at some of the things that happen, including, by the way, flying airplanes into the World Trade Center. Why are we doing this? Build a safe zone in Syria. Get the Gulf states who have a tremendous amount of money. I mean, Saudi Arabia was making $1 billion a day before the oil went down. So now they're making half, okay? They're making a lot. Get them to pay. They're not paying. The other ones aren't paying. We're paying. We always pay. We're the sucker. We're the sucker. We're like the stupid sucker. And we're not going to pay anymore for all this stuff. And anybody that comes in, if I win, they're going back out. We're going to do it humanely and everything, but they're going back out. We don't know where they are. We don't know who they are, where they come from. And we've already had some. You saw the couple that came in from Iraq, where they were already planning different things. One in California, one in Houston, I believe. And they're planning things. No, we don't need it. We got enough problems, folks. We got enough problems. We got enough problems. So I read this the other day, and I said, wow, that's really amazing. That's really incredible. And it's the snake lyric. On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. Interesting. His pretty-colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. Oh, well, she cried, I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you. Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman. Sighed the vicious snake. She wrapped him up cozy in a curvature of silk and then laid him by the fireside with some honey and some milk. Now she hurried home from work, and that night, as soon as she arrived, she found that pretty snake she'd taken and revived. Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. Now she clutched him to her bosom. You're so beautiful, she cried. But if I hadn't brought you in, by now you might have died. She stroked his pretty skin, and then she kissed and held him tight. But instead of saying thank you, that snake gave her a vicious bite. Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. I saved you, cried the woman, and you've bit me. Heavens, why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die. Oh, shut up, silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in. Does that make sense to anyone? Does that make any sense? Does that make sense? I mean, you know, and hopefully that's not going to be the case, but it's pretty. I read it and I just sort of put it together. We have no idea what we're doing. We have no idea who we're taking in, and we better be careful. Okay, so here's the story. We're not winning anymore. We don't win. We don't win a trade. We don't win a war. We can't beat ISIS. We can't beat anybody. We don't win. Our